Hello student, myself Rajendra Kumar, senior lecturer at Government Polytechnic College Batala. Today I am going to deliver a lecture on subject steel structure design of 6th semester civil. The topic of my lecture is riveted connection. So well student, first of all we should know what is a riveted connection or what is the definition of riveted connection. When rivet are used to connect the structural member of a structure, the joint is called riveted joint. The process or method of jointing is called riveting. When two members are joined together by the means of rivet is known as riveted joint or riveted connection. Riveted connection is a permanent connection which is achieved with the help of rivet. Such components are not likely to separate. So, riveted connection is a permanent connection. So, next point is rivet. Definition of rivet. A rivet is made of a round bar of steel or wrought iron, one end of which is formed into the rivet head. The other part is known as the stem, shank or a body and a tail on the other side. Rivet are manufactured in a different length to suit different purpose. So, rivet consists three parts. First is head, this is the head of rivet. This is shank. Shank, this portion is called shank or body of a rivet or stem. The third part of rivet is called tail. This portion is called tail. Size of rivet is expressed by the diameter of shank. So, the diameter of rivet is expressed by its diameter. Rivet are widely used for structural connection in bridge and buildings such as steel bridge, steel trusses. In the process of riveting two or more part, the tail end of the rivet is also formed as a head. So, rivet are used in various steel structure. When a rivet is driven into a rivet hole, the tail end of rivet is also formed head by the process of forging. Next, type of rivet. What types of rivet are there? Rivet may be of different type depending upon the shape of rivet head and purpose and place where they are used. So, type of rivet according to shape of their head. So, classification of rivet according to their shape of head. Following are the different type of rivet. Rivet according to the shape of rivet head. First one is snap headed rivet, second is pan headed rivet, third is pan headed rivet with tapered neck. Fourth type of rivet based upon the shape of their head is round counter sunk headed rivet, flat counter sunk headed rivet, flat headed rivet. So, this is the diagram for snap headed rivet. In this the diameter of the rivet head is 1.6 d, where d is the nominal diameter of a rivet and the height of this portion is 0.7 d. This is snap headed rivet. Pan headed rivet, the top of the rivet head is flat and the diameter of that rivet head is 1.6 d, where d is the nominal diameter of rivet. Again the height of the rivet head is 0.7 d. Pan head with tapered neck. So, this type of rivet consists tapered neck. The neck of rivet is tapered from here and the head is same as that of pan head. The top of head is the flat and the diameter of the rivet head is 1.6 d and height of rivet head is 0.7 d. Round counter sunk head. So, here the diameter of this is 1.5 d, where D is the diameter of the nominal diameter of the rivet, and here the angle becomes 60 degree. Flat countersunk head 60 degree. So, again their angle is 60 degree, and this is portion is flat, and diameter of this flat portion of rivet head is 1.5 D, where D is the nominal diameter of rivet, and this dimension is 0.5 D. This is the flat headed rivet. In this flat headed rivet is having the rivet head is flat, and the diameter of rivet head is 2 D, where diameter where D is the nominal diameter of the rivet, and the thickness of rivet head is 0.25 D. So, these are the 6 type of rivet based upon the shape of head. So, snap headed rivet, pan headed rivet, pan headed with tapered neck, round counter sunk head, flat counter sunk head at 60 degree, and flat headed. So, there are 6 type of rivet are there. Snap headed rivet are most commonly used. Generally, we use the snap headed rivet in steel structures. Pan headed rivet are used where flat surface is desired. Counter sunk headed rivet are used where it is desired to have the flush surface. Flat headed rivet are used where the available clearance is small and limited. When the available clearance is small and limited, then flat headed rivet are preferred to use. Second classification of rivet is there hot driven rivet, cold driven rivet, shop rivet, field rivet, power driven rivet, and hand driven rivet. Again these are 6 type of rivet are there. So, well student, at first we discuss the hot driven rivet. These rivet are heated to red hot before driven in the position. The pressure is then applied to the force the heated rivet in the hole and to form the driven head. So, rivet are heated before driving, it is called hot driven rivet. Heating introduce a great clamping force, and hence initial tension in the rivet is caused when they are cooled down to the normal temperature. A great clamping force introduces due to heating, and there is initial tension in the rivet. Cold driven rivet, these rivet are driven in the cold state. So, rivet which are used in cold state are called cold driven rivet. A large pressure is applied to form the head. 12 mm to 22 mm diameter rivet may be cold driven rivet conveniently. There is no clamping force introduced to the part connected, and hence initial tension is prevented in the rivet. In the case of cold driven rivet, there is no clamping force and no initial tension. The strength of a cold driven rivet is more than the hot driven rivet. The cold driven rivet is stronger than the hot driven rivet. Third type of rivet is shop rivet. These rivet are driven in the shop under better control and conditions. The rivet which are driven in the shop are called shop rivet. Shop rivet are stronger than other rivet. After shop riveting, the assembly is transported to the site of erection. The structure is transported to the site after the process of riveting. Field rivet. These rivet are driven at the site of the work. There is less control on the process of fabrication and resulting into the strength of rivet. Rivet which are driven at the site are called field rivet. In the case of field rivet, we do not achieve the desirable strength. Power driven rivet. These rivet are driven either by the hydraulic or pneumatic power. These rivet are driven either by hydraulic power or pneumatic power. These rivet have more strength than other driven rivet. So, the rivet which are derived by the means of hydraulic power or pneumatic power are called power driven rivet. Hand driven rivet, these rivet are driven by hand, these have less strength than the power driven rivet. So, those rivet which are driven by the hand are called hand driven rivet, and hand driven rivet have less strength than the power driven rivet. Next, come to the next point, type of riveted joint. So, the riveted joint are of two types. The riveted joint mainly classify into two types. Number one is lap joint and number two is the butt joint. So, first one the lap joint. In this type of a joint, the member to be connected together are made to overlap each other. The joint may have one or more row of rivet. So, when the member are overlapped and then riveted are called lap joint. So, the lap joint are classified as follow. The lap joint further classified as follow: single riveted lap joint, double riveted lap joint and triple riveted lap joint. Let us discuss the first one, single riveted lap joint. Single riveted lap joint, a lap joint having only one row of rivet is called single riveted lap joint. So, a joint the lap joint consists only single row of rivet is called single riveted lap joint. This is the diagram for single riveted lap joint, this consists one row of rivet. This is the one of row of rivet, and this show the cross section of the single riveted lap joint. Double riveted lap joint, a lap joint having the two row of rivet is called double riveted lap joint. So, a lap joint which consists two row of rivet is called double riveted lap joint. This is the diagram for double riveted lap joint. Here are the two row of rivet, one is this and second is this. It consists two row of rivet. This is the cross section for the double riveted lap joint. Third type is there, triple riveted lap joint. A lap joint having three rows of rivet is called triple riveted lap joint, with the joint which consists three rows of rivet, 1, 2, 3. So, the joint which consists three rows of rivet is called triple riveted lap joint. This is the diagram for triple riveted lap joint. Here three row of rivet are there, two member, one is this, second is this. These are there. These two member are overlapped for this length, and three rows of rivet are provided. So, this type of lap joint is called triple riveted lap joint. So, lap joint is classified into three types: single riveted lap joint, double riveted lap joint and triple riveted lap joint. Second type of riveted joint is the butt joint. In this type of joint, the two plate to be joined together butt against each other, and a cover plate is placed either on one side or on both side of two main plate. In case of butt joint, at least two row of rivet, one on each side of joint are required. When member are butt against each other and cover plate placed on one side or on both sides, the joint so formed is called butt joint. The butt joint are classified as follow. So, the butt joint further classified as follow: single riveted butt joint, double riveted butt joint, triple riveted butt joint. So, let us discuss single riveted butt joint. Single riveted butt joint, a butt joint having one row of rivet on each side of the joint is called single riveted butt joint. So, here is the butt joint. this is the member are butt against each other at this. So, this is the joint. So, single riveted butt joint consists of one row of rivet on this side and one row of rivet on this side. So, this type of joint is called single riveted butt joint. Single riveted butt joint further classified into two types: single riveted single cover plate butt joint. When single riveted butt joint there is we place only single cover plate and single row of rivet is there on each side of the joint, then that type of joint is called single riveted single cover plate butt joint. So, this diagram is for single riveted single cover plate butt joint. When we placed two double cover plate, two cover plate either on either side, on here and on here, then that type of joint is called single riveted double cover plate butt joint. Second type of butt joint is double riveted butt joint. A butt joint having two row of rivet on each side of the joint is called double riveted butt joint. So, this is the joint. At this section the member are butt against each other. So, on the either side two row of rivet is there, one is this and second is this. On this side of joint one row of rivet is this and the second row of rivet is this. So, this type of joint is called double riveted butt joint. Double riveted butt joint again is of two type. When single cover plate is there, then that type of joint is called double riveted single cover plate butt joint. In the case when double cover plate is there, one on this side, one on this side, that type of joint is called double riveted double cover plate butt joint. So, this diagram is for double riveted double cover plate butt joint. Triple riveted butt joint, a butt joint having three rows of rivet on each side of the joint is called triple riveted butt joint. It consists three row of rivet on both sides of the joint is called triple riveted joint. So, few definition is there. Next topic, next point. These definition are regarding the nomenclature used in the riveted connection. First definition is nominal diameter of rivet. Nominal diameter of rivet. It is the diameter of the shank of the rivet when cooled and before driving. It is also called the size of rivet. The diameter of rivet measured before driving is called the nominal diameter of rivet. Gross diameter of rivet, it is the diameter of the shank of the rivet after driving. So, the diameter of rivet measured after driving is called gross diameter of rivet. It is taken equal to the diameter of the rivet hole. It is also called the effective diameter of rivet. So, diameter of rivet hole is taken as the gross diameter of rivet. Strength of a rivet is based on the gross diameter. The diameter of a rivet hole is kept 1.5 mm more than the size, the nominal diameter of the rivet up to 25 mm and 2 mm more for nominal diameter exceeding 25 mm. Diameter of rivet hole is taken 1.5 mm more than the diameter of a rivet for the rivet diameter up to 25 mm and the diameter of rivet hole is taken 2 mm more than the diameter of the rivet for rivet diameter exceeding 25 mm. So, if the diameter nominal of the rivet is 20 mm, then the gross diameter of a rivet 20 plus 1.5 21.5 mm. So, if the nominal diameter of a rivet is 27 mm, then the diameter of a rivet hole is taken 2 mm more than the diameter of a rivet, then the gross diameter of the rivet is 27 plus 2 29 9 mm. So, this is the diagram for riveted connection. So, next, row of rivet. It is the line of rivet parallel to the meeting edge of the member. It is the perpendicular to the direction of stress. A line of rivet parallel to the meeting edge of the member and perpendicular to the direction of stress is called row of rivet. So, this is called row of rivet. This row of rivet is parallel to the meeting edges and perpendicular to this direction of stress. So, row of rivet is parallel to the meeting edge of the member and perpendicular to the direction of stress. So, these are the row of rivet. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, this riveted connection consists 7 row of a rivet. There are 7 row of a rivet. Next definition is gauge line. It is the line of a rivet parallel to the direction of stress. Gauge line is also called rivet line, back line or screeve line. The rolled steel section, for example, I section, channel section, angle section, T section have been assigned standard position of the gauge line. So, the line of rivet which is parallel to the direction of stress, with the line of rivet which is parallel to the direction of stresses is called gauge line. So, these are the gauge line 1, 2, 3. So, this riveted connection consists of 3 gauge line. Next definition is gauge distance. It is the perpendicular distance between the 2 gauge line. So, the normal distance between the 2 gauge line, these are the gauge line, this and the perpendicular distance between these 2 gauge line is called gauge distance. So, it is denoted by G. So, this distance is called gauge distance. Pitch of rivet, it is the center to center distance between any 2 adjacent rivet. So, center to center distance between any 2 conjective rivet is called pitch and it is denoted by small p from the center of this rivet to the center of this rivet. So, this center to center distance between any 2 conjective rivets is called pitch. It is denoted by p and pitch is not less than 2.5 d, where d is the nominal diameter of a rivet. Next definition is length of joint. It is the length common to the meeting edge of the member or the cover plate from it is the length common to the meeting edge of the main member being connected. So, if the when the plate are connected, the width of plate is taken as the length of the joint. So, in diagram this is called length of joint, this is length of joint. The common minimum meeting edge of the member is called length of joint. If the width of this plate is small than this, so then the plate having the small width is taken as the length of joint. Edge distance or margin M. It is the distance of the edge of the member or the cover plate from the center of the nearest rivet hole. So, distance between the edge of the member and the center of extreme rivet hole is called edge distance. So, distance from the edge of the plate or member to the center of extreme rivet hole is called edge distance or margin and it is denoted by M. So, this distance is called edge distance. Diagonal pitch, It is the diagonal distance between the center of the two rivet in the adjacent row. It is the diagonal distance between the center of two rivet in the adjacent row. Diagonal pitch is the center to center distance of rivet of adjacent row. So, this distance is called, these are two adjacent row, this one and this one. So, the distance, this distance is called diagonal pitch. Next is staggered pitch. The distance between any two consecutive rivet in a zig-zag riveting measured parallel to the direction of load in the member is called staggered pitch. Staggered pitch is also known as the alternate pitch or real pitch. In diagram, this is the staggered pitch. This is the staggered pitch. Staggered pitch is the distance correspond to the diagonal pitch and parallel to the direction of stress. So, this distance is called staggered pitch. Next definition is lap. It is the distance normal to the joint between the edge of the two overlapping plate in a lap joint or between the joint at the end of the cover plate in a butt joint. So, in the case of lap joint, lap is equal to the length for which member are overlapped, and in the case of butt joint, the distance between the joint and the edge of the cover plate is called lap of the lap. Next definition is gusset plate. Gusset plate are thin flat plate. These are used for joining various member of truss. Gusset plate are also attached to the flange of the column to transmit the load coming on the column to the base plate. In case of truss, the size and the shape of the gusset plate depend upon the inclination of member to be joined, the number of rivet used and appearance required. The thickness of gusset plate is taken as 6 mm minimum. So, gusset plate is very thin in thickness and it is used to transmit the load. The shape and size of the gusset plate is depend upon the requirements. What are the various requirements are there? So, come to the next point, arrangement of rivet. So, there are three different arrangement of rivets are there in riveted connection. Rivet can be arranged in a following three ways: chain riveted joint, zig-zag riveted joint, diamond riveted joint. So, student, at first we discuss the chain riveted joint. In a chain riveted joint, every rivet of a row is opposite to the other rivet of the other row. So, in chain riveted joint, one rivet of the row is opposite to the other rivet of the other row. The distance between the two row on one side of the joint in the case of butt joint of the rivet should be at least equal to 2d plus 6 mm, where d is the nominal diameter of a rivet. So, this is the diagram of a chain riveted. This is the diagram for chain riveted lap joint. This is the diagram for chain riveted butt joint. So, in chain riveted joint, the rivet of one row is opposite to the rivet of other row like this. So, this rivet is opposite to this rivet is opposite to this. So, rivet of one row is opposite to the rivet of the other row. The distance between these two rows not less than 2d plus 6 mm, where d is the nominal diameter of the rivet. This diagram is for chain riveted butt joint. So, in chain riveted butt joint, the rivet of one row is opposite to the rivet of other row. and the distance between these two rows is not less than 2d plus 6 mm, where d is the nominal diameter of the rivet. Second arrangement of rivets in riveted connection is a zig-zag riveted joint. So, zig-zag rivet. In a zig-zag riveted joint, the spacing of the rivet is staggered, that is zig-zag. In